Alrighty, looks like today this is what I'm making. This is, believe it or not, a pot roast. And I'm getting ready to have some of this. I think I want a chunk of that piece right there. That's what we're making today. Beautiful pot roast. It is absolutely delicious. Well, there it is. You've just seen me pull that out and what I'm making today. Let me tell you something. Easily one of the best ways to cook up a roast is this. Literally falling apart. Melts in your mouth. And that sauce, that red sauce, that gravy, that's heavenly. Folks, when you try this, you'll see what I mean. It's just incredibly good, something you need to enjoy, and when you do, I'm sure you're going to love it. Thank you very much for taking a look at this, and if you would, before we get into how to make it, do me a favor, subscribe, click that like button, and drop a comment below telling me how you like to do your roast, or if you've never tried one, what you think about this one. Well, howdy. I was getting ready to do a roast beef, and I thought, well, what the heck, I'll set up a camera and bring y'all along for the ride, okay? So what I have here is some chuck roast. This is about 2 pounds, excuse me, this is 3 pounds 6 ounces. So about just a little under 3.5 pounds. Easy way to say that. Feels nice and tender. Yes, it does. So here's the thing, you can either do a roast all in one piece, or you can kind of divide it into several pieces, you know, break up the muscle groups and cook it up that way. Now, why would I want to do all that, huh, instead of just leaving it whole? Well, believe it or not, you can get a little bit better cooking this way. And if you notice, I'm not taking anything off. I'm just separating it. There we go. I want a knife for that. Oops. Little bitty knife. That'll do the trick right there. 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 And see, I want all of that fat and material right there on it. I'm not going to take anything out of this. So everything stays. It's just broken up. Now the idea here is to help me get nice browning on all of these different pieces. And I want to start it that way. This is going to be done similar to the way that beef bourguignon is done. Not identical, but there'll be some similarities. And it starts with heat the pan, get these in it, get them searing. After I brown the meat, then I'm going to put in some items to help it with producing a really good gravy, and that'll be a little tomato paste and some wine. I didn't have any red wine, but I do have some of my own wine. Let me do this. So I've got my own, and that is a white Zinfandel. That'll do fine. I guess I need to get some purchase. What am I trying to say there? I need to purchase some wine kits so that I can make some more wine, some red wine, white wine, and have a little variety for when I'm cooking stuff. There we go, here goes the sizzle. I'm preheating my oven. Now you can do this at any temperature from about 285 to 350. The slower the cook, the more flavor you build. But of course it takes longer to cook. You know, it's just the way things work. There. Let the steam out, keep most of the splattering in, and that's that. Okay, so we're gonna let that do its thing. Okay, let's take a look. Oops, what we got going on here. Okay, it's starting. I'm not looking for a whole ton of browning. I just want to get it lightly browned on a few sides of each piece, and then I'll move on to the next step. All right, let's take a look at it again, see if I can't get this last piece in there. So the whole idea of doing this pre-cook on the meat, getting a little brown in there, whenever you sear meat, that gives a complex flavor. Okay, in other words, a flavor that you wouldn't get just from heating the meat in the oven. Okay, so we're stacking flavors. Caramelized meat juice and the meat browning with the rest of the ingredients for the gravy builds a richer, more full-bodied experience. Okie dokie, let's get on with getting on. So here we have this fond in the bottom, and I've added in, of course, some tomato paste and some wine. Right now I'm just trying to thin that tomato paste down, which is coming right along. There's one bottle of wine, and I'm going to break out the other one. Now the next thing that has to happen is I have to get this in the oven and get it to braise, okay? And braising is where we just slow cook in liquid, and it produces these most incredible flavors. All right, now for some flavor, I'm going to include a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, maybe a couple of tablespoons there, 2 or 3. There we go. Get all of our meat down in here. I don't necessarily have to cook that up right. I can put it on the edge. Looky there. Okay, I'm going to put a bit of salt over that. That's maybe 1.5 teaspoons. and just sprinkle on some black pepper, or in this case some seasoned pepper, and that'll help with that flavor of that gravy tremendously. All right, so at this point I just need to cover it and get it in the oven. Okay, so I've got a little bit of that oil splattered on the lid here, and I'm just going to remove any excess so that doesn't cook on and make it more difficult later. Alrighty, into the oven. Ooh, here we go. So if you're wondering how long, okay, until it becomes fork tender, how long will that be? It'll be as long as it takes. It depends on your roast. It depends on whether it is a select, choice, or prime cut. You know, there's different tendernesses there. Tendernesses, I don't know if that's a word or not. There's different levels of tender involved there. So what we have is something that's going to be in there probably for at least several hours. I'm guessing between 3.5, 4 hour cook on this one. It's at 300 degrees, and if it cooks a little quicker, big deal. I can turn down the temperature a bit, just let it sit in there and keep developing those rich, full flavors. The longer it cooks, the more rich, full-bodied it becomes. The more complex flavors that are built. And the only way to produce the kind of flavors that I'm going to produce today is, well, to slow cook. It's the only way. So braising, the king of cooking right there. And we have a roast that's going to come out delicious. We'll see you in a few hours. It'll be minutes for you. So this has been cooking now for about 3.5 hours. We're going to take a look at it and see if it's where it needs to be. It should be getting close. If not, oh, come on over, take a look. Okay, let's lift the lid, take a look. Oh, isn't that heavenly looking? My goodness. Now you remember when I said it needs to be fork tender? Oh dear. Yeah, that's, see, when the fork just slides right out of it like that? That's what we call fork tender, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, right. Now, I think I'm going to get some of this and put it on a plate. I think I want a chunk of that piece right there. Oh my. Oh yeah. All right now. That's what we're talking about, folks. Right there. Absolutely delightful. Okay, let's cut this open. Take a look at it a little closer. Well, I'm being incredibly noisy. It's kind of hard to use a knife because it's so tender. Just look at this, how this is pulling apart. Isn't that beautiful? And that gorgeous sauce to go with it. Now, folks, that's the way to enjoy a nice roast. Well, there it is, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, for the tasting, let's try it. And now it's time for you to try it yourself, okay? Oh, man. You know, look at that. I can cut it with a fork. It's just so tender. Oh, man. You know, if you're wanting a simple way to do a roast that is incredibly delicious, you've just seen it. Oh, wow. The sauce is nothing more than just the drippings in the bottom of the pot there. It's delicious. Give it a try. You're going to love it. Folks, give this recipe a try. You're probably going to fall in love with it. And thank you very much for watching Texas Cooking today. And if you would, please subscribe, click the like button, and drop a comment below. Now, when you subscribe, if you would, click that bell icon next to it so you get notifications when I post. It's nothing more than that. And thank you very much for watching. You folks have a good day. Oh man, I'm looking forward to the rest of that.